time can move so slowly, and in the distance I hear voices. Are they real or are they in my head? I'm lovesick. You got me lovesick, and I'm lovesick. You got me lovesick, and now I feel alive, feel alive, feel alive, feel alive, and now I feel alive. So many times they try to change me, and every time it drives me crazy. And all the good times we had saved me. Are they real or are they in my head? I'm lovesick. You got me lovesick, and I'm lovesick. You got me lovesick, and now I feel alive, feel alive.
Today, in the shadows of the city of Milwaukee, we visit its 1 mile facility. The Milwaukee Mile plays host to the INDYCAR Open Series this week, as we're here for the Aero SOF race, brought to you by velocityonlineracing for the iRacing INDYCAR community. Today, we're all set for the penultimate round of the season for 2026 Season 3 here on 4. I'm Justin Prince. Alongside the booth for tonight is Sébastien Kinder. In our production spot is Julien Altena, who's using onboards brought to you by Julien Altena, and track cams provided by trackcams22.com. Today, we get ready to go racing short track style. As we prepare for the Milwaukee Mile, Sébastien, this field is expected to have some intense battling today over the course of 150 laps.
Oh yeah, with a full split and one of the best track of INDYCAR, it's going to be very good.
It's going to be very exciting for our competitors. They still have a minute 20 of qualifying to go, and it's getting closer and closer to the end for the battle for the championships, to say the very least. A lot of these drivers here have to be thinking how everything's going to go for the drop, and better yet, for the points. With Blocker up by 351, he's got a just about virtual lock for the overall standings after Chicago. But the Aero SOF standings is a different story. because that's seen Jacob Reed, Alan Berteau, Indy Kirchenbauer amongst those up at the top 3. Ty Quill, one of the drivers competing for Division 2's title, and Kyle Clenworth amongst the top 5. Jacob Reed needs to have a clean run today to basically lock up that side, Sébastien.
Yep, and it's super tight up there, so they're going to be battling a lot to get any points.
Now, how do you feel about this racetrack here today for the Milwaukee Mile as Matt Hollyball spins in quali?
Yep, you can get caught out on the exit of the even number corners. What am I expecting? Like some close battling, maybe a few different lines used by our drivers today.
I'm expecting it to be pretty wild, to say the very least, in some cases. Usually is when it comes to any type of racing, the Milwaukee Mile and its technical portions. But as we get ready for the penultimate round of the season, it's about time for these drivers to fly around the racetrack and figure out who will set the fast times that'll get them to the checker flag. A lot of different drivers coming their way into today's race here in the city of Milwaukee, or specifically in West Dallas, Wisconsin. This is around where the fairgrounds are here in the state. You can see all the cars making their way to the starting grid. We have a lot of big names that look to come out to play today. That includes the Berryman, Peter Berryman. Andy Kirchenbauer starts in second today on the front row, separated by about a tenth. Alberto is in the top 3, with Kyle Clenworth inside your 4th position. Sophia Connell makes an appearance today. They'll start in 5th position, with Jesper Dahlgren inside the top 6 positions. Dahlgren running for Rogue Racing today. Toronto Wakefield makes an appearance today for Grange Hall, with Alistair Kahn again back in the field in the top 8. Rounding your top 10, Jacob Reed and Luca Tedesco, who's become pretty regular in this time slot inside the top 10.
Next row will be composed of Fabien Jaroszewski and Joël Duchesne. In the review mirrors, they'll have Sean Gillard and Anthony Diverich. The 8th row will be composed of Matt Hollyball, that we just saw spin, and Joseph Harker. On the 9th row will be Andre Alfieri and Volker Ulrich. And on the 10th row, we'll have Andre Buxi and Kaya Elderson.
You throw it back to the 11th row, that's where Jay Dennis and Nathaniel Fulgenci will start down in the top 22. They were the last set times. You also throw Ty Quill, Leo Salvador, and a Kyle Butch scheme in the top 24. Rounding out the over entries is Cyrus Smith and Tijman Baker, if you want to put it in the Dutch way, which it is that case, inside your 26 car field.
I was about to say, like, lots of new names that I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many of these in the time slot, at least. And as we prepare for today, it's going to be interesting. There's 2 philosophies you can go with, not just with the championship points, where Ty Quill is going to secure at least 3rd division point standings. It's a big opportunity for some of the Aero drivers here, potentially on the strats as well, because if you're Reed, if you're Berteau, 2 different talking points on positioning where they're going to have to figure out a way to get through this pack today. A part of those 2 stops expected.
Wow, very humid.
I was about to say, weather's pretty significant. Pretty windy out there, too. Could make things all the more turbulent today for our coverage, once again, of INDYCAR Open Series SOF, brought to you by Velocityonlineracing. For the INDYCAR community, please consider supporting our fundraiser and donate on GoFundMe. The pace car is off. We're all set to go. The field is green. We're underway from Milwaukee.
Some free wide action already here.
You people wanted to get some spots picked up here immediately. The first one to go to the inside, that will feature drivers such as Clendy. Clendy trying the inside for the top 3, and many more as they roll their way around the first lap. As you can see, though, going to be an interesting one. Again, with this Aero package, when it comes to this type of racing, it's going to be critical for these drivers to figure out the right lanes to go. Look at Clendy use the top to get the line to work at the bottom.
Yeah, the crossover move there. That's a move that you need to do if you want to overtake people. And oh wow, we already have people in the pits and with damaged cars. I mean, that was, yeah, that's not horrible. And Kaya Elderson has a black flag too, so something must have happened at the back of the field.
Yeah, obviously, Taekwondo and Munsto's having some issues because Hollyball's had issues. Elderson's also had issues. We've already had chaos that seems to have brought two drivers at races to a halt. Can't confirm at the very least Hollyball spun coming off at turn 2 for their circumstances. But at the same time, Eldersman came straight to pit road and then had contact. You see up at the front though, Berryman defending inside. Kirchenbauer, the votive machine on the outside. That's Clendy, should say, running similar color scheme here today. Berryman usually runs the blue. He switched to green today.
Oh, we see a lot of switchbacks, switching the lanes, trying to cut across the opponents.
Yeah, you're seeing that with a few of the drivers just trying to find clean air. We talked about this a lot over the course of the season, Sébastien. Clean air is king because the Aero wash, if you're tight behind somebody or boxed in off some of these corners, you're not going to have a fun time here today, are you?
Yeah, you're not going to have a time. You're not going to have a good time, although you can fight against it. You can use your tools, such as anti-roll bars and windjacker, and also the regen when you completely lift off. The battery recharges itself, so that will be a lot of parameters that our drivers can manipulate.
Well, we've just seen Wakefield wants to scrape the wall down the order. Salvador already, we're talking the first 8 laps. This is pretty significant, actually. We're already seeing drivers at risk of being lapped within the next 15, 20 laps. We're talking more than half the track back, and we're not even inside 10 laps complete yet, just about past 10 laps. And a lot more drivers, you can see some of the pace discrepancies. You're seeing discrepancies as high as 1.5 seconds on lap times right now.
That's not good considering we're on a 1 mile track. I mean, some of these guys up ahead, not only they're super talented, but like they have some pretty bad fast car. As a Berryman is pretty much happy to see such a huge gap behind it.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. With some of the gaps we were seeing, pretty substantial over the front, but drivers like Reed, remember, Reed's been strong on road courses in the World Championship battle. So he's trying to get himself up in position at the very least. That is Connell defending for the time being. And obviously, good opportunity for the Taylor Mills racing machine to try and play some defense here.
The advantage on defending on the outside, the guy behind needs to go under you, but like he can't do the perfect line because he has to leave some space on the outside. That pretty much kills his run.
It's same thing with the Desco down the order right now, trying to battle with Taekwondo. Still in those blue, white, and black colors. We've seen a fair bit of, obviously, in the past couple weeks with the passing adjusted. But that being said, it seems as though I'm surprised that Reed's not trying to use the higher line like we've seen at this jump to make the pass, try to use the slow roll, because again, it's pretty clear. Outside line is getting a much better run, and it's done that every single time Reed's gone to the inside so far this fight.
Yeah, I mean, he has to either go higher or execute the line better while being in the dirty air. But trying to dive bomb like he's trying to do, that's not going to work. Meanwhile, there's a Alfieri. Oh no, they're free wide.
3 wide into 1, trying to be brave, and then leads the contact. There we go. Crash and caution. That is Volker Ulrich as amongst those decimated for the caution period. We're under yellow just like that. The 23 also coming to a stop. Our split today was a 3007 SOF. And one of the drivers at the bottom end of that SOF total involved in the collection, Duchesne, was a part of those also.
Duchenne coming in way too hard here. That was the first warning here. Then you're in the middle of a free wide and you're like, I'm screwed.
And into the wall you go. I think the nose cone just went to the parking lot.
Yep. I mean, one of the spectators can have a pretty sweet souvenir. Ooh.
Don't think Bakker was in this grouping, but we can definitely say at least a 2-car incident. And you caught it straight from the 3 wide. That was a risky play to keep it 3 wide into the corner. And it looks like at the very least overcompensation is a part what factors in. We do have at least a fair bit of the field coming in to take some service this time. Some tires, some not. As we're off and away. Keep in mind, the big thing here, we're outside the projections of the possible pit strategies we were expecting if it went green. We weren't expecting scheduled stops until lap 50.
Yeah, because these cars have a lot of fuel. They can do over 60 laps, I think. So again, I would agree. Yeah, I would agree with these strategies. I mean, if you're pitting like very early, yes, you are at the risk of being caught up by a yellow flag and being dropped back at the back, or even being a lap down, even with a rev around. But the second strategy leaves you vulnerable to undercuts and makes you lose massive amounts of time. But again, can be counterbalanced with tire wear. So ultimately, you just have to roll the dice and see if it goes through.
Matt Honeyball Munsell's out of the race, by the way, as a result of the incidents here. P1416 on back pitted. Cyrus Smith also stayed out. Meanwhile, here's what happened on the start. Remember, Honeyball was part of those who spun. We also seen this chaos. That is where Elderson jumped in.
So that's probably why he has had a black flag.
And why they're now 4 laps down. Well, partly why. But then Honeyball by 1 and 2 on lap 2. You can see Honeyball, who is a winner of the Indianapolis 500 in iRacing officials before the iRacing networks, by turn 2 did this.
The same mistake in qualifying. Ugh. Who put that tire barrier here?
Safety. That's what put it there. Also probably people. Back live, we're back green. You can see Berryman is off and away as the heart of the field roars. Remember, 13th or so. Kyle Quenworth amongst those, the first to pit here.
It's going to be very interesting to see these guys scythe their way through the field.
Reed also taking the service, trying to find a way to quickly cut through also. See Taekwondo trying to make sure to hold on. Some of these drivers already picking up 2, 3, 4 spots. Yep, we do, and I think it's Dennis, the 26. It's part of the toes here, and it is a stopped car from the 26.
If it's only the rear wing, that's like 15 seconds worth of repairs. It's not that bad.
That'll be the IndyCar that... Well, it doesn't show there that I can tell you that Brazilian identifies as an Acura. That car with the contact destroyed rear end.
And probably even some rear suspension being damaged for Dennis.
I can't tell if there was actual contact or difference of air, but Wakefield was the one that was right close to them for the contact in that circumstance. That's already meaning 5 cars are either on the tow truck or off the circuit. A little bit closer to the fuel window estimates, at least to make it. If you wanted to come down here, you could try and go with the fuel mask maybe. I think that's what Wakefield's trying after that contact. Who's already scraped the wall too here in this race.
And while body damage is not as important as you can see on a big track like Michigan or Indy, it still hamper a bit. Oh, and he's out of the car, so hopefully we'll see him back on the track.
I think he damaged the right side pod. That's why.
Ouch.
Yeah, I can't confirm he had that damage previously from the wall scrape. Where if you look, we can, because if you look at Dennis, who doesn't have the damage, the right side's not curved in. His right side still was curved in a bit. Wakefield is off and away. It'd be hard to see the angle, but it will be right around where the floor is. You almost need to go to the tower. You can see him trying to get a feel of how this car now is, at least, after getting some of the repairs done. You see it right there.
Yeah, it is bent. And that is exactly what I mean by body damage when we're commentating IndyCars here. And that is death. And each time you'll have your spotter say, we can't fix the damage. And you're like, ugh, this is going to be a long day.
Yeah, I think he jumped out of the car to take a look. Here it is. You see right there is what we're talking about, that little inlet. That's usually supposed to be straight around that part. And that would be for the wall scrape he had that I referred to within the first 10 laps. That's not an easy fix. And obviously, that means get out of the car, go and look at it. Figure out how bad this will be for you. Berryman's ready to lead the field to green, by the way.
Again, watch out for this car who pitted on the previous caution.
Peter Berryman running the green, black, and white today, the Apex colors on that machine. We talked about his team shuffle recently at Portland. He's off and away and continuing to maintain control. He's led all 22 laps complete so far for the Milwaukee Mile. A lot of the air's battling. Dennis just came out of pit road with the repairs of 3 minutes. Reed is already trying to charge the field. Same for Clendy.
In 16 lap fresher tires, and that is a hard 16 laps because they did a 16 laps of green flag racing, and it plays a huge dividend here. It's a flat track, so you're going to really rely on your right side of tires.
Fabian and Leo amongst those battling out for their positions. You also have Tyquil again continuing the progression. He's second out of those who have pit so far here today behind Clendy. Rogue Racing hedging their bets, if you will, with a couple different strategies, with Dahlgren also in their camp today to try and figure out which one's going to come up on top. And of course, here's for Dahlgren, one of those that has appeared in Velocity Online Racing competition, which is in full swing right now. Dahlgren very fast whenever we do see the Swede.
He's annoyingly fast. Each time he's fast. And it's frustrating.
How would you describe the frustration? Why is it frustrating?
Because he does it effortlessly, and he's like always, oh, there's Dahlgren. Well, we know we're fighting for second today.
He's in third right now. There is that bright side, I guess.
Yeah, because there are similar aliens alongside him.
Kirchenbauer's been having a good start to this one, but dropping a second this time. Right behind Dahlgren. Still shuffle back in. Reminder that coverage of the INDYCAR Open Series Euro SOF brought to you by Velocity Online Racing for the INDYCAR community. If you're enjoying today's coverage, please press the like and subscribe buttons to help us in the YouTube algorithm. And as these drivers figure out the right algorithm to get on for their fuel, a lot of these drivers, you have to be thinking, aren't going to be using the max fuel mapping for the fuel burn with the way this is looking, at least with some of the strategy maybe.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the rare tracks where maybe you don't want to use the entirety of that fuel tank. Because again, with worn tires, you're going to be left very vulnerable on the end of your stance to undercuts. I'm really looking forward to see how they'll manage, especially with the cars that pitted during that caution.
Fabian and Wakefield about those, but the caution is out. Is it Dennis again? Might be. Rudder yellow. There's a crash in the back straightaway, and yes, it is.
The same place as Hollywood.
Oh, he got hit. Who was that? That was off the corner. I almost wonder if he got tight.
He got just...
Oh. That might have been Connell. That is a similar color green. That was running about the time there. And that is Connell. That is part of the contact there as a result. That puts us back under yellow right at a fuel marker. That's going to potentially bring some people down.
Yeah, she got the run here.
Oh, that was with air.
Yeah. Kind of a bit of a net code. Wow, the car behind nearly got a Nico Hulkenberg moment. Everyone's spitting.
Time to go backwards on that possible pit strategies graphic, because this puts us in a spot where you can make it one stop from here. The only two that took the non-free pit stop opportunity here, or said, I don't want this opportunity, were Smith, Reed, Wakefield, Connell, and Bakshi in the 20 machine. Everybody else taking the opportunity, but everyone, majority of those who stayed out, have at least taken some fuel and are saving gas now. It's interesting to be involved in an incident and then stay out and become the race leader. But obviously that's not part of the plan. This is going to be an interesting game plan here.
I don't know how much fuel these guys have now. For those who, oh, so there's a car that's pitting back there. That is Sirius Smith. Huh.
Came down the second wave, but again, that's usually a penalty, is it not? Because that would be closed pit by that time if you didn't come down the first wave.
Well, we're not seeing anything on ATV or live timing.
We'll see if there is a applied after the fact, but right now, Connell is, for the first time, a different leader. Ready to try and hold on to the TMR machine. See right now, Connell trying to keep calm, because right now you got Reed, you got Wakefield, you have, don't forget, Dennis, who is laps down, involved in 2 cautions, is going to be starting 4th in the queue.
Yeah, lap cars are not brought back to back.
Oh, there was a big stack up behind there.
Oh, accordion.
Dahlgren, Klendy did not get the best to fire off there. Everyone else off and away as they go 2 by 2. Berryman trying to get around the traffic, and the teammates are fighting to go 3 wide around it.
Oh, this is not good.
Goes 1 car. There goes near contact, Klendy and Quila. Goes out 3 wide. Lap traffic has checkups. 4 wide nearly.
Jeez, that lap car is bringing chaos. Like, you're seeing moves that we usually see at Michigan, but we don't have the space of Michigan here.
Yeah, that didn't work out at all for at least 2 of the drivers, the 20 or the 26. A lot of the choices right there. Leaders have already broken away from everyone else. Top 3 ran off by 2 seconds on the checkup as we take a look at the Nexus car side by side for a moment.
Yeah, Brotto and Reed, rivals for the Euro SOF championship, with 2 very different strategies here. That will be very interesting how that plays out.
You can see Reed up at the front of the field is a part of those in the train, but don't look now. Berryman's knocking down the time by 0.3 seconds per lap right now on the fire off. The average is 0.6 quicker over the past 5 laps. Throw that to some of the others in the mix of the field. You see an Aero wash bonanza and bonanza for drivers like Harker.
Yeah, this is the board. You know that he's on the inside. You have to cut and run because you don't want to run into that car up there. But good on him.
Yeah, see, actually trying to get the car to settle on the older tires. Reed's not been able to build up a run yet around the 14, and we'll go right back to the old reliable. Go to the bottom of the track. Gets it by maybe on the straight. No, actually kept alongside for a moment. Wakefield was the car that had to get repairs done, and is still putting up a good fight on the outside of the 2.
Yeah, that's what I said. You know, damage is, if it was Michigan, Wakefield would have been screwed. But since it's Milwaukee, maybe he can fight a bit more.
Connell's ran away by almost 2 seconds up front, as you see some of the drivers in the midst of the field, how they're looking to battle. You have drivers like Schulte, right now Fabian back there. You also throw Berteau, still trying to claw their way through some of the traffic. That includes Taikuwa, who did come down for service. Took a 4-second stop though, so didn't take all the service. Yes, you're right. Older rubber.
On caution.
And we're back under yellow. And this entire field will come to a crawl. Wonder if it's something around this group. You can see already the speed.
Maybe that's Nahuel Fulgenci?
Yes, that would be the Argentinian. Yes, can confirm. Did a 360 down the back straightaway. Let's see this.
Oh, Yep. Probably overjacking the car, or maybe too loose of a settings. And on the throttle, the car just went around. 360 no scope though. It's pretty clean, I gotta say.
Oh, it touched a little bit of grass. That's not the cleanest of 360 no scopes you can have in this car. But able to grab a gear, get back going. Fabian amongst those, the German in the pit road, and as you would expect, Connell was in. And puts Connell into an advantage of 11 laps on tires compared to everybody else on the strategy. Wakefield and Reed, of course, stay out. Part of their splits on strategy as well. So we are approaching 107 to go next time by the stripe.
So, advantage for Connell. She has the freshest tires out of everyone. Disadvantage, he's 17th.
Yeah, but now at this point, you talked a little bit about how you can approach the track. What was your setup philosophy, at least for tracks like the Milwaukee Mile in the past, that you carry into a weekend like this? You're on the
track
platform.
position. Track position. I want that track position. I want to be near the front.
So really, how do you make sure you get that outside of just staying on the racetrack like this?
Well, surviving, making maybe 1 or 2 savvy pit calls, and not being bad. And the last one never comes up because I'm usually bad.
Yeah, I think this field going to have an interesting time when they get back to the restart here in a moment. Bakshi and Smith amongst those who came down this wave to take some service. So we'll get geared up to go back racing. Wakefield, Reed, Berryman, Dahlgren, Klendy, Quiwa, Berteau. Part of the top 7. Kirchenbauer up there also. Kahn, Tedesco inside the top 10. The Grange Hall machine is up in front. Wakefield looking to try and protect. Last leader pulled away by a few seconds. Great jump by Wakefield, off and away.
Now these two guys up front, they need to hold as long as possible because they're on the warnest tires and they're not in the favorable strategy.
Yeah, they're going to have to hope a bit maybe to get equal on strategy later on if there's a way, because they're still in a window potentially of a 2-stop depending on how much the fuel burn's gone. Dahlgren going side by side. Reed, as you said, went for the lead as well.
He doesn't seem to be to make those moves on the inside work. And as I say that, he manages to go side by side. And Reed, I'll take the check in the mail.
This time, Reed gets it done. Jacob Reed is the race leader. Here it comes, 3 wide. Berryman slams the door in Clinton's face.
Poor boys, there's still over 100 laps to go. No need to be so nervous.
And that got a little bit tight.
Oh my god, guys.
3 wide. Klendy wants the spots. Rips it away. Kyle Clenworth jumps up to the 3rd spot. And Klendy doing Klendy things is all you can say.
Dahlgren was like, I'm having none of that stuff. And caution.
We're back under yellow, and it's down the
Bakker.
backstretch to the 25. Bakker. The Netherlands base driver having a moment. Turn 2 gets another.
See, I feel like he got a bit higher. That means that got him into the clean air, and he was on the dirty air adjustments. I mean, the car is super sketchy. That's probably what kicked that out.
And again, puts us under caution. Monitor that there's plenty of broadcasts coming up here on the network. That includes the Euro Series. They'll be at Road America tomorrow. That'll be at approximately 8:30 Central European Summertime time start. Indy Next, meanwhile, is here for their SOF coverage at a 9 p.m. time slot on Saturday, the 29th. You throw it back also to the 31st coming up here. That will be technically Monday morning, but is a start time for the Americas side of Sunday night. AHM W12 Series competition, 1 a.m. Central European Summertime. Then the Euro SOF comes back for the finale at WeatherTech Raceway. We'll go to Seca. They'll be taking part of the action 10 p.m. Central European Summertime. That's approximately 4 p.m. Eastern Time. For the Indy Euro Series goes to the Brickyard. They'll have an interesting night on September the 2nd, part of the upcoming coverage of Velocity Online Racing. Getting geared up as we're getting ready for a restart. We'll have 100 to go this time by.
The 1/3 of the race is done, and I'm still in the complete dark. Although it's very interesting to see what Reed and Wakefield are doing. If it keeps like going caution after caution after caution, at some point they will be able to save that fuel to get to the final pit stop. So it's getting them back into the main strategy. So that would be huge for them.
I think so. 100%. This is extremely beneficial. But the problem is going to be on the flip side, if you're here for racing, you want to race.
Yeah, but these guys are banking for caution. I mean, 35 lap stint, but a lot of these were under caution.
A lot of attrition here today. That's the understatement when it comes to what we've seen here today. We're back to racing. Reed off and away. Wakefield, Clendy, Berryman, Dahlgren, your top 5 for the restart.
Oof.
Wakefield again under attack immediately to start this off. That sees Clendy want to continue the charge. Clendy's the highest on newer tires near contact.
Wakefield is doing a lot for an injured car. And once again. And it still keeps it. That's it. And Reed is like, thank you, Wakefield. I'm going off. See ya.
Bye-bye. I'll take off. Near contact between the battle of Dahlgren and Berryman, by the way, in the background, as Clendy clears for second. Now he has to gain up about half a second. With less than 100 laps to go. Well, that was a lot of time picked up down the straightaway. Clendy's got some good straight line speed as we see Bertoa Munzel's going after it.
Now the floodgates are open to overtake that engine number 14.
See Dahlgren at the moment trying to find a way to puncture his way back forward in amongst this battle now with Wakefield. Got to get the separation on Berryman. Berryman's true test in dirty air right now. Dahlgren able to get back up to the top 3. 6,000 plus I rating, the highest in the field today for the oval side was a 68-67 by Clendy. Berryman also doing well for the track, not usually in the wheelhouse. Tyquila though, trying to battle with Berryman.
Oh, and watch out for Kirkenbauer. Looking pretty feisty behind.
see the side-by-side for Ty, trying to get alongside to the inside at least. But again, Berryman's making the wall line work. It's not gaining time, but it is doing a solid time maintaining. Meanwhile, it's time for some friends to battle. It's Dahlgren versus Klendy for the race lead.
Oh, you saw how when Dahlgren went back into Glenwood's dirty air, how the car was like, I'm not turning anymore.
Yeah, that car just did not want to rotate, I think, you could argue, in that circumstance. Now, they'll all choo-choo train. How do you feel about how the Bertaux machine's done today? The Nexus machine is kind of, if anything, slid back 5 today.
Yeah, it kind of did. Bertaux tried to play like penning at a caution, but like you had other people that played their cards beautifully, and probably he didn't didn't restart well while being into the traffic. But still 90 laps to go. Yes, time.
That I agree with. Everyone's got time. There's a lot of laps. There's still a pit stop in most people's cases here to think about. Now it's the main hope for some. You don't get involved in any potential contact and trouble as you see some of the sends going on. Wakefield's purple and whitish machine still holding on. We have more trouble with lap traffic. Everyone scrambles to get around the Brazilian.
Oh boy.
Yeah, that was a bit scary with Jay Dins in the background, but the leaders are still in the midst of a good fight here, Sébastien.
Oh yeah, we're seeing Wakefield and Quilla. And yeah, for poor Wakefield, you're just like, please, can a caution come, please?
Yeah, that's all you can hope for here, but I mean, if you're him, I mean. But right now, drivers like on different platforms, so Sophia Connell is a good mention. See some of the battle going on screen. Connell, mind you, from the pit stop they had to take, is still in 13th position after the service. So that's a lot of spots you're having to claw back.
Oh, that run!
Look at that for Quill and company on the battle going on. A little bit of bravery, if you will, going on yet again here. How about a Hardy cut to the inside? Quillick to get around Wakefield.
That was very close.
Your contact a couple times over there, it almost looked like in that circumstance. And there's almost the difference between pushing too much, not pushing enough that you might see it come into play. I think they're pushing just right to put up that fun factor, if you will, to try and get the multiple lines to work.
It does, and it must be feeling very satisfying, although I feel like Wakefield's tires are starting to give out. We see this car not turning as well as it did before.
Yeah, you can tell the tire wear's become a huge, huge problem right now when it comes to their machine.
Yeah, you see how like it doesn't turn well, and you see the other cars getting the good runs.
Yeah, that's causing them to become almost, not, I wouldn't say moving chicane, I would say it's becoming a bit frustrating if you're some of the drivers boxed in behind to actually make the passes and get those positions up through the order.
Although that car we're going to play against spoilers.
I think that's going to become the case, absolutely. The pace fall off for most is not as bad as the start, though, Sebastian. That's the bright side. But as we've seen in a couple cases, traffic for when the leaders are going to get there pretty soon could get pretty hectic to think about.
Yep, welcome to multi-class racing, but this time the lap cars are not, well, yeah, technically you're supposed to overtake the lap cars because they're not supposed to let you by. You need to overtake them because these guys, they're fighting to stay in the lead lap because there's a caution. Oh, wow, under the apron. Well, the quote-unquote apron.
Yeah, trying to use a bit of that lower line, if you will. It's more so usable in a stock car. I'd argue Sébastien to go. Yep, you see Berto trying to make the move on the inside, get up to 6th position. But the curvature down at the bottom, usually you don't see people run down there in an IndyCar, obviously, because that texture can cause a bit of a problem, obviously, on the corner.
Yeah, it does. I mean, usually you're using this line for qualifying, not really for racing. A bit risky.
Extremely risky, if you will, and obviously, if you're some of the drivers, you have to think, is it worth the risk or is it not? Track cameras provided by TrackCams22.com once again here this week. Be sure to go to TrackCams22.com to get the visuals you need for your broadcast. Right now, see Kirchenbauer, Munster still trying to hold on to the top 5. For 78 laps to go this upcoming time by, still outside the projected gas window by about 18 laps-ish, maybe less. Harker amongst those we talked about earlier. Usually seen top 10 speed for Harker on the road courses at times, but today, having those types of problems in traffic.
Yep. Now this will be very interesting because Reed and Wakefield are going to be starters of the pit cycles, and if you're these guys up ahead, you know that if you go all the way to the end of your fuel, you're going to give these guys the mother of all undercuts. That's a slow car, that's a left car. That was close. Oh my god.
That is significant. That's Din's running about 23 4s last time by. It's ran an average of 24 flats though over the past 5 and 10 laps. Although they do have others in the mix, like Bacher to get around. That's Dahlgren making the pass on them, as they'll also see the battle heat up right about the time they'll reach the traffic. Wakefield versus Berto again.
Yeah, now this completely devolved into multi-class racing, and a lot of people with different strategies and sharing the same bit of real estate. Oh, it got super tight, and that could have been a nightmare with a lap car again.
Yeah, could have been tricky, but able to survive is the big thing here. Wakefield continue to play the defense. We're at past halfway, actually, in the race so far. Reminder that Velocity Online Racing delivers professional iRacing broadcasts, providing an authentic race day experience. Our custom IndyCar style overlay creates a clean and immersive viewing experience reminiscent of professional motorsports broadcasts. Streamed in 1440p, 60 FPS production, and with expert commentary, Velocity Online Racing gives your series the presentation it deserves. Broadcast packages start for as low as €50 per hour. Contact velocityonlineracing.com or velocityonlineracing@gmail.com specifically to learn more. Keeping an eye on things as we're now about 71 laps to go here from the Milwaukee Mile. Almost a green light on fuel to make it on the gas tanks. I think it's pretty telling that Reed's been able to stretch the gas tank. Same for Wakefield, just within the range, just.
Yeah, now these guys, they play their cards very well. They played track position game, and now they're going to be rewarded because they're now legitimately where they are. Now for Wakefield, it's all about trying to do damage limitations. We see Dahlgren and Clendy going at it.
A couple different battles really forming up around this racetrack as we approach that pit stop window. And the big thing to talk about with this track is it's not an easy pit road to enter, is it?
Oh,
with
no.
How tight
Oh,
it is.
no. Oh, no. I do have PTSD of a sudden VOR race getting smashed in the rear entering the pits. It's not an easy pit road. You have to be heavy on the brakes, and you don't have a lot of time. And that pit line where you have to put the limiter, it's very early too.
Yeah, it's so easy to wreck the car on the entry. It's so easy to potentially speed or pick up a blue cone violation, all those types of things around here. You're going to have to be smart on the choice when you pit, and right now, the leaders as they continue to work 4 seconds up as teammates here. We'll have to think, what are they going to do? Dahlgren wanting to get alongside Klendy at the very least. No, that doesn't work. If anything, they gain time with the side-by-side there.
People will be like, hang on, their teammates don't they will just play it out smoothly. No, these two want to win badly, so... I mean, they will still try to keep it clean, although the lap car is not helping Glenworth right now.
Yeah, here at Klendy was fastest on the track last time by. Actually, Dahlgren just crossed it, followed by Quilla. So Rogue Racing's nailed the setup, I think you can say the very least, Sébastien, because they're the top 3 cars on the long run right now.
I mean, are you surprised? These guys are pretty good at what they're doing.
I mean, they do have good league experience, to say the very least, in a league that races a fair bit on the weekends that is on this certain network.
Oh yeah, although it's fixed setups, but you're still getting some knowledge of driving.
You still get to show your good drivers. How about 3 wide around lap traffic?
You're the lap car, you're trying as your best, and then you see 2 animals just going to both sides of you, and you're like, oh dear, where have I ended up?
No offense if you're Jay, but there's only 1 car you can beat, and it's 15 laps down. Obviously, we want to finish the race, but it's getting more and more difficult to last. Wakefield did indicate pit stops are coming up here. So the window is open with Wakefield amongst those coming down to start us off for stops with 61 to go. They were able to make the fuel stretch with the maps.
He did well considering he had an injured car too. Again, that bent floor, it also produces drag, so reducing your fuel efficiency. And Reed also in the pits, by the way. Whoa!
Oh my goodness.
Nearly wrecked.
I don't know how they've kept it green with some of the dodges we've had to see down the straightaway, but either way, the leaders under 60 to go. Reed made it 74 laps on a gas tank. Here's the risk. You put yourself a lap down at minimum with the pit stops, if not nearly 2 laps down. But you will see the pace pick up once the lap times are put down. The fast laps earlier were near 22 flats. Right now, these drivers are running 22 to 3s. That's not as big as I thought it looked like at the first glance. That's only 3/10.
When Dahlgren made the move, I think. And he kept it to the line inside, so that's some very good information to have. Oh, Klendy.
Still trying to battle with Dahlgren. Back and forth they go as the leaders. Dahlgren's first lead of the day, by the way, is right now. As right now, that 4 has dirty air in front because there's some air wash off the lap traffic. That being a Furry who tries to keep themselves clean. There goes the Propeg Motorsport machine, or Propeg. I can't tell what that actually says, but I'm pretty sure that's a video game on there.
Probably.
I don't think it's the good kind of thing. I couldn't read the exact text, but I've heard there's a paint scheme that promotes a certain method. Please do not do that on your certain favorite game. Let's move away from that and move on to this. How about Heart of the Field battling?
That's Anthony Diveret. I think that we saw a car in the pit that was Kirkenbauer in the pits.
Into the lane goes the 6. Gets himself some potential pocket of air to work with. 64 laps on the stint for Indy.
Now, where will he exit out?
Plenty in.
Oh.
And caution!
Oh!
And it's the 26.
again.
26 toes, Dennis. We talked about this, Sebastian, a little bit. How long do you realistically stay out there? 13 laps down.
I mean, at some point you're like, maybe this is not my day, and wow. Whoa, he got run over.
I have a feeling that he was too low off the corner. Either lit him up or got turned around. It's turned
that was
around.
Connell.
Again,
yeah. That's the second time it's the Connell gets to run too fast on Dennis and they make contact. Oh yeah, and Dennis, you see him kind of ducking low, and had he not, maybe the contact would have been avoided.
That's huge for drivers like Dahlgren. They keep the lead lap as a result. But realistically speaking, there are a lot of drivers that are going to have to make a lot of time up here and take some waiver rounds potentially here. Kalendi, Quilla, and Reed, a few others that are not wanting to see this yellow flag. They wanted this cycle.
Oh yes, right now they got screwed. They got screwed over. Because that's them up ahead. They will have to take the waiver round here, Justin. So that means they will have to go to the back of the pack. That means behind the convention of lapped cars too. Brutal.
So Dahlgren gets the chance to control things here late, coming up to 51 to go. Coverage of the INDYCAR Open Series Euro SOF is brought to you by Velocity Online Racing. For the INDYCAR community, please consider supporting our fundraiser and donate on GoFundMe. And of course, it's the penultimate round of the season. It's been an interesting campaign, to say the very least, Sebastian, all season long, to cover it with you, as well as a variety of hours, including you and O'Leary. Of course, Julien Altena has been in the production seat all throughout the season. Still, though, the question is going to be, who's going to secure some championships, and better yet, who's going to secure some final wins? The season high for wins is only 6.
And right now, it's putting the gloves off, and now everything is on the line because it's a sprinter was in. And by the way, Brotteau back in second.
See some of the point tallies again. Remember, blockers got the advantage. And most of the field run those SOF races mainly as part of not just preserving the I rating, but of course try and get points. Dahlgren is off and away on the start. Green, back to racing we go. Less than 50 laps to go for the Milwaukee Mile.
And he had 2 lap cars in Wakefield and Kirkenbauer. Two pretty fast cars today, so that's some good lap cars behind you to play as a buffer.
See Tedesco amongst those trying to work up the middle, by the way. Up to the top 5 with this caution. Colin also took advantage. And how about Sean Gellard also picking up a lot of spots? Up 7 with the call. Klendy trying to work their way through the traffic. Connell's up there, 3 wide. Gruski trying to keep things clean as right now Klendy's making it clear he does not want to wait.
He has the knife between his teeth, Rambo style.
Yeah, you can see Connell just trying to use the outside line here. There is going to be interesting moments here with the traffic, by the way.
Crash behind!
Here we go!
Oh, that's a big one!
What were we just saying? Reed's a part of it. Jacob Reed may just see his chances go up for the gap for the Euro Championship.
That is huge for Brotteau.
Jacob
car's
Reed.
hurts.
Yeah, heavy damage. Afari's already in the tow truck. Let's see this. What we're just saying about the traffic. Yeah, traffic was involved.
And that is just the brutal nature of short tracks in IndyCar. You're having your strategy. There's a caution that screws it all up. You're behind slower cars. They crash in front of you and you can do nothing. Oh, Connell.
That was not Great spot for 3 wide. That was in 2.5 lanes.
Yeah. All wanted that same real estate and brutal again. So brutal.
And so, Jacob Reed, as you would expect, one of the drivers now down pit road as we're back under yellow. That's going to rebunch things, and obviously no one wanted to give up the track position this late, Sébastien, to go back into the pack with how that was a short run.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I don't think I want to pit yet. Now, I don't know if at some point iRacing puts the lap cars back. I wonder if it's set up for the series. So I just heard in my ear that should be within 25 to go. So right now, if I'm one of the leaders, like, I don't want to pit until there's 25 laps to go.
So we'll find out how this goes here. And there are drivers not happy with some of the traffic in the field, and that's the thing. Mind you, we're one split here today, Sébastien. So it's not as though you have those who are learning and those who you expect up in the order and so forth. They're all put in the same melting pot. Most of the field's above a 2,000, but we do have Dennis, no offense to them, a 641. They still gain I rating despite all the incidents today.
What the heck?
That's what happens when you're a 26 car in a 3,000 SOF. Coming to green. Let's find out how this now flies here. Will they keep it clean this time? Dahlgren in control. Waited longer this time with Wakefield to use his traffic as a pick. We're backing away.
Wakefield and Kirkenbauer, and that means that Brotto, he can't do much right now.
Yep, you see some of the errors trying to work their way around the track. That includes the battles such as right here, deeper down the order with Ty Quila trying to move ahead. Caudle, the Ireland-based driver, trying to find a way to work. There's the move back by Quila, though, to take away 7. Run back for Clendy.
Shake and bake.
Cut on through, and Clendy is trying to drive very aggressive, as you would expect, to make up this ground. You have to do that too, as, yes, what, they all passed by De Vieras, who is still on the track today in a different Bitcoin-themed machine.
I mean, not surprising, he's French, and yeah, pretty much a big Romain Grosjean fan, it seems.
Clendy, meanwhile, not making the same ground as the 2, but you can see the outside having to work there to make up 7.
It's insane how Gellard had his car pretty much stopped.
Meanwhile, see some of the errors. 3 wide. They make their way to the field. Quila still making up ground. That'll give the 2 machine the 5th position.
He's slicing through that field like a hot knife through butter, but they're still expecting a caution to have their say in that lead for the win. Fight for the win.
Under 40 laps to go. Mind you, some of the drivers like Kirchenbauer still down the order. This is for position with Wakefield. Oh, wow. See some of the different levels of battles. The ones now got around Tedesco.
Brotto finally got rid of the 2 loud cars, and he's 3 seconds behind Dahlgren. And right now, Dahlgren has the Rainbow Road ahead of him straight towards the win.
Yeah, take a look at some of the air battles around the racetrack here. It's turned to a bit more of a calmer period. You have Schulte trying to work around inside the top 10 at the moment. It's with Connell, who already had a wing change as part of the last pit stop. 9th for the 12 machine, who, remember, led 10 laps earlier on strategy. Scanning around the rest of the field here as this all goes about. Tedesco and company really trying to solidify things and make sure how we go in the rest of this field. You see how they battle down the straightaway.
Yeah, we saw Clendy, I think, sending it on that car. Quilla is now threatening the number 10 Khan.
Yeah, Khan. He's done a good job at least maintaining the position, I would say, up the road from where we're keeping an eye on right now, because that is an Aero driver. One of the regulars, if you will, for these time slots that have really looked solid. Fabian's an Aero, one of the regulars that show good speed. Still keeping up the fight here.
That's... Oh yeah, and the outside lane again.
And it's again defense on. Continuing to try and fight for the 9th position. One of our most intense fights left on the circuit, especially with Dahlgren. You know how much Dahlgren's put away over this stretch of run over Plateau? It's 3 seconds since the restart.
Yeah, that's what Clean Air does, but also a lot of talent and a very good machine. And even then, Brutto is now in Clean Air, and I don't think he's gaining that much. Now, like last lap, only 0.005 of a second of difference between the two leaders.
.31 to go. Here's Clendy's times. You see, slowly chip it away. See how the gap is trying to work out, involving Ty Quilla just in front. I almost feel like these two have to work together, and I think that's absolutely the goal here. Because two things. One, if you get the caution, you take the tires, obviously. But two, they're making it pretty clear they're lockstep together on thought, lockstep to try and help out each other. Like, for example, make sure Clendy doesn't Aero wash up at the wall. But in most of their cases here, you can see they're just trying to work together, find any way to get past Con here, 7 seconds behind the leader.
Like we saw with Connell, like they're going to do it again. They'll shake and bake. Oh, yep. Oh, Clendy. Oh, no!
A little bit of a moment for Con.
He lost his front wing, Quilla did.
And Quilla was in the wall from it. As Quilla is now in the fence, and Ty Quilla's race has gone up in asunder.
And he could not go over into the pit lane. It would have been too risky, and there was a car behind. Oh, it's a meatball for Glenworth too.
That can be very disappointing to say the very least here, as you see right there.
Teammate, friendly fire on.
Do this again.
Yeah, he did give him a nudge there.
All I can say is, yikes, yikes, and more yikes.
Yep.
Ty Quilla is still trying to putt around the racetrack. Kyle Clendenworth had to pit.
Yeah, he had the meatball, which is pretty insane because it didn't look that big of a hit.
I was going to
he's
say,
back on the truck.
I didn't think that was any contact that would have hurt Clendy that bad, but I'm surprised Ty is still stretching around the track with no front wing in comparison, obviously.
I mean, my man, I don't know if he's like scared to go, scared to dump it into the incinerator. That's why he's waving off moving or hoping for yellow. But I mean, he's already a lap down.
little smoke kick up there in this part of the racetrack, under 25 to go.
Oh, I want to be a little mouse into the Rogue Racing voice chat.
Especially after the contact, especially with the team. Everything except for Dahlgren.
You know, yeah. Dahlgren is like the one guy chilling on the deck chair, and there's explosion behind.
Just nothing to see here. Let's move on. Nothing to see here as the entire fireworks factory explodes.
Oh, Connell.
That was an early explosion, wasn't it? Involving that 24 machine trying to make a move on the outside 3 wide.
Boy.
Right now they're getting really tight here in this group as the FJ machine tries to stay at the bottom. The Argentinian driver in the 24 looking to rip around the top also. This is not for a position involving that 24, by the way. As you see, Jellard in all of this, in 6th now with everything exploding.
I mean, Con, Tedesco, Jellard, they're going to have a pretty decent iRating day.
Tyquil is coming down pit road, taking the full wing change, by the way. Couldn't take any more time bleed. Tedesco in range for plus 60. Right now, if you want an exact total, Alan Berteau actually would have the biggest improvement on iRating if you want to count that at a plus 62 in the late going. See Clendy unlapping.
I'm pretty sure it's red mist for him.
I mean, I think a lot of people are going to be arguing, yeah, going to be in the red mist of my mindset after a race like this. Still to be said, though, as they all work under 18 laps to go, as you take a look at the various parts of the pylon, podium finishers all, except for Berteau, have led laps in substantial chunks. The race only having 6 different leaders today. Dahlgren, Clendy, Berryman, Reed, Connell, and Wakefield the entire day. It's been a difficult short track race, if you will, for IndyCar standards.
Yeah, kind of difficult, yeah. But we managed to get things really rolling to that second part of the race pretty quickly.
Here's Dahlgren checking in on Jesper. 15 to go for the race leader. And the 4 ready to secure some success here. Jesper Dahlgren keeping himself out of trouble right now.
Yeah, right now for him is just autopilot on. Make sure to lap these cars cleanly. Connell will try to unlap himself back, but Jesper will be like, nah. Stay behind.
And as we continue to glance around and look at some of the various battles here, think about this when it comes to your race leader. This year, only 76 oval starts, 3 sports car, 4 Formula. 32 times on the oval still for your current race leader have gone to victory lane, but is mainly raced in the fixed series. The last open appearance was at Pocono, where, guess what? They won that too. And they also won in the iRacing in the INDYCAR iRacing series, part of the more longer distance racing, or rather competed in it with drivers like Berryman, and didn't have good luck there in Montreal. Of course, that was the substitute to Washington, D.C. Just like we had Chicago, Sébastien.
Yeah, just like we had Chicago, we had Montreal for Markham. Yeah, iRacing, maybe it's time like, to get a bit up on your game of scanning tracks.
I mean,
joking.
So you want to ask them to spend more than $1 million?
Wait, no, that'll raise the subscription price up $30. I don't have the money yet.
I mean, they are releasing an IndyCar video game sometime in the future, so although they did say Washington would not get scammed at that time.
Which is very interesting. Releasing an official IndyCar game and you're probably not going to have a laser scan version of a track, but we'll see. I mean, they could just hire the guys who does the IndyCar Racing 2 mods and be done with that.
But that also defeats the purpose of iRacing, which is all laser scan tracks.
Yeah.
We're under 10 laps to go, by the way, from the Milwaukee Mile, which is also on the schedule, which was originally going to be the host of the doubleheader again before the Washington race was put on the schedule. Probably the latest we've seen an official race officially get added in a while. Near contact there, once again, by the Frenchman. And at this point, that BMax.io machine just all over the track in terms of trying to hold on.
Yeah, but only 7 to go, so nearly there. And thankfully, the laps are super short, so. It's crazy to think that we're probably going to have less than 5 cars in the lead lap by the end of this.
I think that's one thing we haven't even thought about is there's 6 cars in the lead lap, and one of them's about to get lapped, and there's near contact there. We're almost at the point of no return also, Sébastien.
Yeah, because if there's a caution now, you're probably going to get like 2 laps of green tops.
If you're lucky.
If you're lucky. If the iRacing gods are willing.
See some of the battling with Connell. Still trying to battle first car a lap down. 4 to go for them coming through.
Who's that going super slowly on the bottom?
Not sure, as Berteau had tech issues at about the exact same time. Right now, you see some of the errors battling down the queue. Berteau is just up the road, by the way.
And now it's the point of no return. If there's caution, this is the end of the race.
Race is on for here to try and close it on out. Jesper Dahlgren looking to try and take the checkered and near contact with the last car in the lead lap. That is the 6th machine of Jillard trying to hold on with 2 to go.
And there we go, only the top 5 in the lead lap.
5 on the lead lap, and Dahlgren's on the way to picking up a victory. It's been a more quieter year. Looking to get his first win in the series since Pocono. He's on the final lap for the Swede. Jesper Dahlgren came into today looking fast. Was up at the front from the very start, inside the top few spots. Got the strategy to go his way. Jesper Dahlgren wins at Milwaukee.
Berteau finishing 2nd. Very good day for the European Strength of Field Championship.
And specifically the Europeans, Berryman you also throw in the mix. Remember Portland's dominator. Looked to be potentially the same for the Milwaukee Mile before the caution started flying. The strategy started variating. Dahlgren got the chance to celebrate on the front straightaway. So all cars have crossed the line. And how will we burn it on down? Taking the crawl. Now he'll do it.
Burn it down.
Jesper Dahlgren gets the win today for the Milwaukee Mile. Gets the chance to pick up a virtual trophy here at the Euro SOF tonight. Let's take a look at the race results as Dahlgren celebrates victory. He's able to come out on top with 59 laps led over an Alan Berteau. They get a lead lap here today in this 7 caution affair. Peter Berryman in third, Alistair Kahn and Luca Tedesco inside the top 5. 6 went to Sean Gillard. You also had Fabian Jaruski inside the top 7. Connell, Kirchenbauer, Wakefield were the top 10. Remember, your first 5 were on the lead lap. Only 11 was within 1 lap of being on the lead lap.
Glenworth finishes in 11th after being trapped by a caution. Joseph Harker will finish in 12th ahead of Anthony Diveret. Nahuel Fulgenci finishes in 14th in front of Ty Quilla, who ran quite a portion of laps without a front wing. André Buxi finishes in 16th ahead of Leo Salvador. Sirius Smith finishes in 18th in front of Jacob Ray 19th, and André Alfieri completes the top 20.
21st goes to Bacher, Dennis in 22nd, Eldersman, Duchesne, Aldrich, and Hollyball, the others. That's a look at the field here as we wait to speak with one Jesper Dahlgren and see what he has to say. The race winner, Jesper Dahlgren, coming away with 59 laps led. Rogue Racing. For a lot of the air drivers, didn't get the best of luck on strategy, but the one who does is Jesper. How are you feeling?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, it feels good. I felt really comfortable out there, and unfortunately, my teammates had a bit of a rougher day. But for myself, I felt really strong throughout the whole race. I kind of sat back in the beginning and middle part, and I was just waiting to get in position. And then I knew that once I got up front, I was going to be really fast. So me, it was just about keeping the nose clean in traffic and just try and not die on exit out of 2. The wind was pretty terrible, so I had a few snaps over there. But overall, a really good day for me. This one was for Justin. I mean, I have no words for what happened. It shouldn't have happened. It's just so sad. I feel really bad for the family, and I gotta say, I didn't interact too much with Justin, but he was one of those few people that I follow on Instagram, and it's just so sad. And this one was for him. So tribute there with the livery and everything. So yeah.
Obviously, it's really impacted the IndyCar community with them being so big in it and amongst a variety of different communities within iRacing in general. Now, on the season standpoint, do you plan to race the season finale SOF? Just out of curiosity?
No, I don't think so. This season has unfortunately been a bit of low participation from me. I hope that it'll get better next season because it's so much fun. I really need to start running more of the road courses. But for me, I'm getting old. I need more practice. Here, I can basically just arrive and run and drive, arrive and drive. Whereas road courses, I need to practice a lot because I'm lacking like a lot on all levels. So, but I hope next season is going to be better.
Any other shows you'd like to add to your post-race interview here today?
No, just thank you guys for putting this SOF here. For me, being in Europe, sometimes difficult to stick around, at 2 a.m., 1 a.m. So this one gives me an opportunity to run against really fast guys. I mean, I've spent 10 hours building this set, so this is a payoff. Well worth it, those 10 hours for sure. So thank you guys.
Congratulations on the victory here today.
Thanks guys.
Jesper Dahlgren coming away. He gets victory here today. I'd like to thank him for taking the time to speak with us during post-race coverage here on Velocity Online Racing. As he gets to burn it down today, Sébastien, your final thoughts of the penultimate race of the season and our last oval of the campaign.
And our last broadcast together because I won't be there next week. Yeah, I mean, was pretty fun. We had some pretty decent battles, some 3-1 action, some very nervous action. We had long runs, short runs. I think this race had everything, to be honest.
We definitely did. But on that note, it's going to be a trip to California, and this again is a newly built track. WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca. Again, newly licensed as well with the ownership group for this facility. It's going to play host to the finale all throughout the week for the iRacing schedule. We'll see that once again to bring us into the month of September. September 1st is just a week away. We'll see how things go in Cali. On that note, it's time to say goodbye for today's coverage. For my colleague at the booth, Sébastien Kinder, for our producer, Julien Altena, we use onboard cams from Julien and track cams provided by trackcams22.com. I'm Justin Prince saying so long, and thank you so much for tuning in for today's coverage from Milwaukee Mile. We'll see you next time out to close out the Euro SOF season on September the 1st from Laguna Seca. We'll see you next time from Monterey.